Kanat's lungs burned as he sprinted through the neon-soaked alley of New Shanghai's underbelly. The human colony world had become a melting pot of species since the Galactic Union opened trade routes 3 decades ago. But some things never changed. Crime still festered in the shadows, and tonight Kanat had stumbled into something far worse than a simple mugging. The child, no more than 6 in human years, whimpered behind a cluster of trash containers. Her lavender skin marked her as Zelthari, one of the Union's most prestigious species. But here, in this forgotten corner of humanity's sprawling empire, she was just another victim. 3 figures blocked the alley's exit. Kraven mercenaries, their reptilian features twisted with cruel intent. The leader twirled a plasma knife, its edge humming with deadly energy. "Walk away, human," the Kraven hissed. "The girl owes a debt." "Family debt." Kanat raised his hand slowly, his heart hammering. He was just a dock worker. No combat training, no weapons, nothing but the worn jacket on his back and rapidly deteriorating judgment. "She's a kid," Kanat said, voice steady despite the fear coiling in his gut. "Whatever debt you think exists, it doesn't involve her." The Kraven laughed, a sound like grinding glass. Humans always playing hero. What happened next occurred in heartbeats. The Kraven lunged. Kanat dove forward, not away. His only thought was reaching the child before they did. He felt the first stab between his ribs, a line of fire that stole his breath. Then another. And another. The plasma knife carved through flesh and muscle with horrifying ease. Kanat's vision blurred red, but his arms wrapped around the small Zelthari girl, shielding her with his body. 4 stabs became 6. 6 became 8. "Stupid human," the Kraven snarled, finally stepping back. Kanat collapsed, the child clutched against his chest. He could feel his life draining away, pooling beneath them. The girl's violet eyes, so wide, so terrified, were the last thing he saw before darkness swallowed him whole. Consciousness returned in fragments. Clean sheets, antiseptic smell, the steady beep of medical equipment. Kanat's eyes fluttered open to the sterile white ceiling of a hospital room, but not just any hospital. The technology surrounding him was far beyond standard human medical facilities. "Mr. Chen, you're awake." A human doctor stood beside his bed, but her expression carried something unusual. Awe, perhaps, or fear. "You've been unconscious for 3 days. Your injuries were extensive. By all rights, you shouldn't be alive." "The girl," Kanat croaked, his throat dry. "Bella, is she safe?" A new voice interrupted, deep and resonant. Kanat's head turned and his breath caught. Standing in the doorway were 4 figures that made his instincts scream danger. They wore armor that seemed to absorb light itself, decorated with iridescent patterns that marked them as Zelthari. But these weren't civilians. Everything about them, from their synchronized movements to the plasma rifles at their sides, screamed elite military. The leader stepped forward, removing her helmet. Lavender skin, silver hair, and eyes that held the weight of command. She knelt beside Kanat's bed in gesture so unexpected he flinched. "I am Commander Velsara of the Zelthari Praetorian Guard," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "The child you saved, Bella, is my daughter." Kanat's mind reeled. "Your daughter? In that alley?" Velsara's jaw tightened. "Kidnapped. Held for ransom. The Kraven moved her through 6 systems before we tracked her to Earth. We were 20 minutes away when you—" She paused, something breaking in her composure. "When you gave 8 pieces of your life for hers. Anyone would have—" "No." The word cracked like a whip. Velsara stood and her soldiers snapped to attention. "In the 17 systems of the Union across 400 species, we have records spanning millennia. No species protects the children of others like humans do. No species throws their body between a blade and a stranger's offspring without hesitation. It defies survival instinct. It defies logic." One of the soldiers spoke, his voice reverent. "We've studied your kind since first contact. The human who dove into a collapsing transport to save Zentari younglings. The colonist who fought a Kresh predator barehanded to protect Mylar children. The pilot who crashed her ship into an asteroid to change its trajectory away from a Drell nursery colony." "You're insane," another soldier added, but the words held no malice.
"Beautifully, impossibly insane." Velsara produced a small device, crystalline and pulsing with soft light.
"The Zelthari have existed for 12,000 years. We value honor above all else. A life debt to those who save our children is sacred, unbreakable. Bella is my only child. You didn't just save her life. You saved my entire lineage. She placed the crystal in Kanat's hand. It felt warm, alive. This is a Praetorian sigil, Velsara continued. It marks you as family to House Velsara. Our resources, our protection, our loyalty, all yours. But more than that, she glanced at her soldiers who nodded in unison. We've contacted the Union Council. Your actions will be entered into the archives of valor. Every species will know what Kanat Chen did in a forgotten alley on Earth. Kanat stared at the crystal, then at the alien soldiers standing at attention before him. I couldn't let them hurt her. Exactly, Velsara said softly. You humans never can. That's what makes you terrifying. That's what makes you heroes. She knelt again, placing her forehead against Kanat's hand, a Zelthari gesture of ultimate respect. Thank you, she whispered, for being human when it mattered most. As the Praetorian Guard stood vigil around his bed, Kanat finally understood. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their adaptability. It was simpler, more profound. When a child screamed, humans ran toward the danger, not away from it. And the galaxy would never forget.